Welcome to another RSR. Today we are reviewing Winnipeg Jets 1, St. Louis Blues 5, NHL Stanley Cup Playoffs 2025, Round 1, Game 4. The series is tied. The Blues are taking it back to Winnipeg with a chance to make it 3-2, and the Jets can also win. But there will be a Game 6 at Scott Trade Center. They have a Wednesday, Friday. Series will be live on Friday night for that Game 6. When it comes to that game at Scott Trade Center, we will see if the Blues have the 3-2 lead or the Jets have the 3-2 lead. With the way this game is gone and also Game 3, it could be the Blues. The Jets might blink at home, but we have not seen that yet from either home team, that the home team in each game blinked. No home team has blinked yet. The Jets got blown out in St. Louis over both games. The Jets ended up beating St. Louis over both their home games. St. Louis ran out of gas and lost those two away games. But today, how'd they win? First period, 13:58. Jets had 2 power plays before this. Did not score on either. But 5-on-5, Sandberg plays it to Perfetti, who plays it to Kyle Connor, who has a shot that Binnington doesn't even see. He's off the center of the net. Parayko's right there to block it, and he gets it 5-hold, put past him. Kyle Connor didn't really beat Binnington per se. He beat Parayko for this one. 13:58 through the first period. 1-0. Winnipeg gets the opening goal, but at the end of the first period, the Blues tie it up, 19:37 through the first. Fowler plays it to Parayko, where Parayko hits a banger of a slap shot to where Jake Neighbors taps it over the shoulder of Hellebuyck to make it 1-1. Jake Neighbors with the goal. Amazing goal from him. End of one, it's 1-1, and the Blues score late, and they take that momentum and smash the Jets' face in the second period, because the Jets looked horrible in the second, especially late on. 2 of the goals they let up, they had no business letting up. They give up a stupid power play. Their defense falls apart. Hellebuyck has another hell night in net, because he does. What the hell-y, I guess. And the Jets blow it in period 2. Period 1, I'd say the Jets were the better team. The Blues were lucky to get out of that first period 1-1. Third period, the Blues did a good job defensively. They got a goal as well, but other than that, it got a bit chippy, but that's a 5-1 game for you. Second period, goals were scored as follows. 10:46 through the second. Texier to Letty, plays it to Tyler Tucker, who lasers one past Hellebuyck to make it 1-2. And the Blues take the lead just over halfway through the game, and they wouldn't give it up. 17:23, Neighbors to Parayko, crosses over to Shen, in the crease. Hellebuyck screened, open net, Shen taps it home. 1-3, easy as you like. 17:23 through the period, and 18:54 through the second. Shen to Neighbors. Neighbors with a play to Falk, who claps it on, and it bounces off Pionk into the net. It is not off of Kyrou. It is off Pionk. Kyrou was fighting with him in front of the net, but it bounces past Hellebuyck. You can't let that one in at all. If you can't let in the third, you sure shouldn't let in the fourth. 1-4, Justin Falk with a goal, even though it was really an own goal, but that's not how hockey works. It goes off the guy who took the shot, so it's Justin Falk. End of 2, it's 1-4, and then in the third period, the Blues started with a goal. 2:01 through the period, Buchnevich to Sunkist to Robert Thomas, who dives in and flies in to put it past Hellebuyck and chase him again for the second straight game. 1-5, Hellebuyck is pulled. Comrie goes into the net. Hellebuyck walks down the tunnel, and he shouldn't have done that, but he doesn't even sit down on the stool, put on the baseball cap. He walks down the tunnel, and he ain't happy. He ain't happy with himself. He walks down the tunnel, and the Jets just fall apart from there. It gets gooned up. The Jets start fighting. Somebody gets a glove thrown at them. Game, 5 in a game, power play. Blues defend very well. Tucker does get hurt getting thrown into the glass by Brandon Tanev. I don't think he meant to do that. I will say that much. I don't think Brandon Tanev meant to do that. It just happened. But I pray for Tucker. I hope he's okay. He got a goal, and then he got hurt later in the game. I hope he's fine. I hope he plays later in this series, if not round 2, if the Blues make it that far. But that was a hard hit. That did not look good at all. But the Jets do truly goon up this game the last 2 minutes. The last 2 minutes, they start gooning it up. Lowry starts a fight, and they try to get their pound of flesh. At least that's the way they saw it. But I don't think that's what that looked like, per se. I think the Blues are in their heads. I really do. Let's consider the fact that the Blues did lose both games in Winnipeg, but that's because they ran out of gas, not because they sucked. They ran out of gas in the third period, but they were close. They've played 60 minutes of hockey in both matches in St. Louis at Scott Trade Center. So the question being is the Jets screwed now? That is the question. Final 1-5. The series is tied 2-2. The St. Louis Blues tie it at home, and they've been amazing at home since the Four Nations. And I think they'll keep it pushing. So, you look at it, and you're probably pretty happy about it if you're a Blues fan. No, I'd say you're really happy about it. They tie the series. Wednesday, they could take the lead if they are truly in the Jets' heads. I feel like it's more likely now, after these past 2 games overall, that the Jets are going to blink at home. It's not going to be the Blues who blink in Game 6. I don't think so. I think it's more likely the Blues win one of the 2 games left in Winnipeg. They win Game 6. They win the series. Whether that's in 6 or 7, I'm not sure. But the way the Blues are playing, they're playing really good hockey. And they figured it out. They did kind of cool down a little bit pre-playoffs. The first 2 games weren't great. But these past 2 games have been amazing. And this game was very lunch pail work. Very lunch pail work by the Blues. The first period wasn't good. They bounced back. They pushed through. They got the second period being dominant. Third period did what they had to do, won the game. The Jets are just falling apart. Again, frankly, this ain't the first time the Jets have done this. This ain't the first, and it won't be the last. Could be the last with this core, though. There are Jets fans who think they probably should blow it up, this core, which honestly, I understand it. This kind of feels for Jets fans, kind of like how Leafs fans felt in 2021 when they wanted the core 4 blown up after the Montreal series. I understand the feeling because Winnipeg kind of is the Western Jets, or the Western Leafs, my bad. They are the Jets, they're the Western Leafs. I kind of understand that. But for me, I sit here and say, you know what, the Blues, out of nowhere, first period looked bad. They should have been down 2 or 3. With the power plays they gave up, with the goal they gave up, they should have been down 2 or 3. Even if they scored that 1 goal, this game should have been totally different. The Jets threw it away in the second period. The first period, they should have scored more than 1 goal. They allowed a goal, and the momentum just flipped to the Blues, and they built on it. And they don't lose at home. It's very hard for them to lose at the Scott Trade Center. It is. At least this year. And they knew how to play this game. They're like, okay, we got the late goal. Let's build on it. And defensively, they were strong. They were compact. Binnington made very good saves. He was the better goalie. Arguably, he has been throughout this series. But this was a good night for him. And you look at it, you're like, yeah, that's about what I expected. If I'm a Blues fan, Well, second, yes. This is what I sort of expected. If they were going to win, this is what I expected. I didn't expect a blowout of Game 3 proportions, but this game was more of a Blues game than a Jets game. The Blues didn't get lucky. They made those chances happen because guess what? They go to the net! Well, I've been saying that with football jerseys as well, but it kind of looks weird saying that with a... Either way, they went to the net. They did. And because they did, they beat Hellebuck 5 times. They didn't beat Comrie, but they beat Hellebuck 5 times. So, at least not tonight. But they got 5 goals. 5-1, tied the series. They did their job. Player of the game? Jake Neighbors. I'll give Jake Neighbors player of the game because the goal, the assists he had, he put on a damn good performance. Damn good performance. Damn good performance, for sure. The Blues, they tied it up. We'll be live for Game 6 on Friday night. Hopefully, it's a series, possible series clincher for the Blues. But either way, they're fighting for their lives or possibly clinching the series on Friday night. We're very much booked for Wednesday night, so that's why that is. But Leafs Hockey Tuesday, Wednesday Champions Cup and Can Champ, Thursday Champions Cup, Friday Leafs, not Leafs, Blues Jets, Game 6. Saturday, possible Leafs Hockey with some MLS football, and then Sunday, a possible Blues Jets Game 7. That's what next week kind of looks like. Let's see if that plays out. With that being said, the Blues win. Series tied 2-2, and they deserve it. They deserve it. There you go. With that being said, if you like this video, like it, share, subscribe. You know what it is. Tell your friends. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell notification once subscribed. Send some chats on the live streams. Comment on this video. Put this in playlist. Share with friends and family. All that great stuff. I will see you 5:55, 6 o'clock Central for LAFC versus St. Louis City SC. St. Louis Sunday keeps going. Let's see what City does. Should be a good one. I'll see you later. I'm Ryan and I'm out. Peace. See you.